Hello, my gorgeous light beings, my healers, my star seeds, my light workers. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, The Pleiadian Priestess. As always, I have a juicy reading for you guys today. And today's topic is going to be what makes you intimidating, frightening, or downright scary to other people. We're going to get into maybe some features you may have, mannerisms, attitude, vibes, stuff like that, physical traits, you know what I mean? Or just personality traits, who knows what comes through. But we're going to get into that today. So if you're interested in that, stick around. But since I bought a lot of Halloween themed decks, I'm definitely going to be doing these like cute little unboxing things with you guys. Okay, so today's decks is the Urban Crow Oracle and the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and I do feel like they aligned really well. I don't know why I felt called to get the Crow Oracle, but now that I got it, it makes so much sense because Edgar Allan Poe has a short story, I believe, called The Raven. I don't think we had to, that's one of the books we had to read in high school. They made us read, but it very well fit. I'm like, what oracle am I going to use with the tarot deck? And I'm like, crows, ravens, they get confused very often. Dark birds, that's what helps his vibe. Edgar Allan Poe. Now I feel like I'm most excited for this tarot deck, and I don't know why, because I used to detest having to read his books because they were so gory and creepy and kind of like eerie, and I was not that kind of girl at all. I'm more romance and flowers and happily ever after if I'm reading a book, you know. But our teachers had us reading Edgar Allan Poe. I'm like, this is not for us. Why are we reading this? And now I feel like a strange kinsmanship with him. I don't know what it was, but I know I was driving in a car one day with a friend. We were coming from work, and we would pass by like a bar in the city, or downtown Brooklyn, you can say, and it had like an Edgar Allan Poe picture or just the words, and it was like right before Halloween fall, and I'm like, I told you that's my sign that I was meant to get the deck, so I got it. And I've been wanting it for a long time because it's been on my list, so I just got it, but I don't know, I feel a strange, like, I don't know, draw to the deck or to his story. I even did when I was younger, but I used to be a scaredy cat, still am, but I'm getting better at like watching scary or more intimidating stuff. So while I'm talking, let me just start opening the deck. So we're just gonna do this, and of course I'm gonna pull some cards, and you choose your options. Or if you're not even watching, you could also just go to the option where I have the thumbnails. You could choose that way as well, or you could do both. If you want to hang out with me for a minute, you can do that as well, but it's not going to be long. I'm just opening them up really quickly. I love also the big things that we get when you order a tarot deck like this. I have like a few of them like this, where it's like a big old box. It just makes it feel so official. Yes. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I should have read more of his books because it'll probably make sense. I've read a few. They made us read some in school, I remember. But I haven't read enough to probably get the references they may make, and I like to do that with the decks that I buy. Like, if you were here for the Hocus Pocus reading that I did, where I used the Hocus Pocus deck, I used themes from the movie to help you get or understand what was playing out in the story that your cards are saying better. Also, the Buffy Vampire Slayer Tarot, I've like religiously watched that since I was a child. So what played out in the show helped me read the cards better. So I do like to get cards where I feel drawn to the imagery or the story of the person or just the show itself or the movie. I also have the Lord of the Rings Tarot deck, and that helps me decipher when I use it as well. So I get like clearer messages. So here we have the Urban Crow Tarot. I'm making a mess. This one is nice. I like this. What does this look like? I like this. Okay. I am also going to use the Earth and Bone Tarot that I used before, but it's already open, so there's no need to do unboxings. So we're just going to, this is cute and everything. Okay. Adorable. And put this to the side. Let me open it too. So when I'm ready to use it, I can use it. Since when you're watching this, it'll already be posted. There are always timestamps in the description box below that helps you skip straight to the options pile if you don't want to sit here or you're done listening to me talking right now or see me struggle to open these cards. Okay, there's always an option in the description box. Can you open? Why are you being a Beavis and a Butthead? Okay. And like I was saying, every reading where I open a new deck, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing the full direct at the bottom of the deck. it's like, I always say only group 1 gets to experience that, because they're, of course, the first group that I'm using the cards on. So the Fool also at the bottom. But I guess if you're watching now, you get to see the Fool at the bottom of the deck, which is a cool thing as well with me doing this. I wonder if these cards are going to do what the other cards did. Can you come down? I don't want to break it because I like to use it after. But the other cards, the Earth and Bone Oracle, when I used them for the first time, they have a cracking noise. No, these don't do it. Oh, man. But at the bottom of the deck, we have abundance. So there's something about abundance coming through for everyone who, I guess, stuck around and watched this. Okay, for sticking beside me, watching through it. There's abundance definitely coming your way, and I feel called to use it. It's going to come in a way you don't expect, because we have anomaly, and anomalies are things we don't understand. It's things that are hard to decipher. So I do feel like, you know, abundance is going to be coming your way in a very, I want to say synchronistic, or very under mysterious circumstances, which make a lot of sense with me using the Edgar Allan Poe, because I think he did die under mysterious circumstances. From what I remember in high school, it was like he was found somewhere, or he just disappeared and they never found him. He doesn't have a grave, and that's what kind of, you know, I guess made me feel more uncomfortable with the idea of him, because it's just like he could still be out there walking, even though we know he isn't. I feel like maybe his spirit still surrounds people, like an unsettled spirit that hasn't moved on yet, you know. He could haunt people, kind of vibe. Or maybe you just feel a special kinship with people who felt lost. You know, people didn't really have anywhere to go, who live very sad, morbid lives. I may feel a connection to them. I'm just like, oh, Bendito, you're so small, you know? But yeah, there was something about his death where he died on a mysterious circumstance, like he died on the side of the street, or I think he disappeared and they never found his body or something. I'm like, okay, you know? But anyway, that is the end of the unboxing, or whatever you want to call it. Now I want to get into the groups. Can I get a card for my group 1, please? Group 1, Spirit, group 1. Thank you. We have Mimicry for group 1. Can I get a card for group 2? We have Preparation for group 2. Can I get a card for group 3? I think I'm only going to do 3 groups today. Can I get a card for group 3, please? Spirit, group 3. What makes them intimidating, scary? A lot of things. Or just overly downright scary, intimidating, frightening, or downright scary to people. We have Insight, which makes a lot of sense. I knew one group would get that. And then we had Trickery in reverse. So I think I'll take both of them for you guys, since only 2 came out. But yeah, you guys, they want to get a lot of cards. So there is something about you guys that people like want to, you know, uncover, unmask, unsheath. Okay, I'm done. So we have group 1, group 2, group 3. You're going to choose the group, the image, or the word, the number, whatever that calls out to you the most, the one your eyes keep coming back to, the one you may resonate with the most. You could always choose what you think people think you are, but I do feel like if that's not what your eyes are coming back to, your intuition is telling you to pick, then don't pick that one. I mean, you could always pick it and see what comes through, but it may not resonate or be fully truthful about what people think is intimidating about you, because what people think is intimidating about you isn't always true, because the way people perceive us is not always how we perceive ourselves, which is a disclaimer I do want to give. I hope I give it and I remember to in each group, because people are like, that doesn't sound like me. Well, what people are scared of about you, or what they find scary about you, may not even be true, may not be something that's true about you, may not be something that's scary, you know? But anyway, choose the picture, the number, the group, whatever that calls out to you the most. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people at your reading. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous light beings. Welcome to your reading, my gorgeous people. Today's reading is going to be about, I feel extra, you know, lovey with you guys, because we're getting into what makes you frightening, scary, intimidating, that kind of thing. How I wrote it was intimidating, frightening, or downright scary to others. Okay, that sounds better to me. So we're going to get into traits, features, mannerisms, attitude, vibe, whatever comes through for why are you scary and intimidating to others. Okay, so we're going to get into it. If you guys chose Mimicry or Mimicry, whatever it's saying, then we're going to get into the reading. Welcome to your pile. Today we're using, of course, more spooky decks. This is my 3rd video in my spooky series on this channel. The first reading was something. The second reading, the first reading was, is this person a trick or a treat? I also did like a one before that, with I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer, your next boo thing, you know what I mean? Then I also did what is hauntingly beautiful about you and who is haunted by your beauty, that kind of thing. And now, what's scary about you? I mean, why not go with that? It's Halloween, it's spooky season. Let's get into it. So we're using the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and of course, because you're group ones, you get to see the Fool at the bottom of the deck. But if you watch my unboxing of the 2 new decks that I was using for today's reading, then you got to see the Fool at the bottom of the deck as well, or beforehand, okay? So we're gonna get into it. I also do plan to use the Earth and Bone Oracle as well as the Crow Oracle. Okay, which I did open up in the intro. But first off, before I forget, if you felt called to group 3, then go watch it as well, because the cards for group 3 was acting up when I was going to start your reading. So maybe you have messages there as well. Just a message for somebody out there. But I know some people do feel called to more than one group, and they're just like, oh no, in tarot readings we're only supposed to choose one group. Unless a tarot reader specifically says try to stick to one group, because all the groups were different or something like that. There should be no reason why you can't watch all 3 or all 4, all 5, however many they have, if you feel called to do so, okay? So that could be something. You're indecisive maybe, and that's scary, because some people like things to be, what's the word I'm looking for? One-dimensional, you know? There's people who are everything and all things, and they can kind of become something else or embody different kinds of energies and peoples and aesthetics and stuff like that, and that scares certain people who like things to be placed in boxes, you know? And if people can't place you in a box, that makes you immediately scary, okay? That's something that's coming through as well, because you're indecisive. You don't know what you want to do, where you want to be, and people want you to know what you want to be when you grow up, and know where you're going, and know what you want to do, eat tonight. And it's like, if you don't have your life together and everything's very chaotic and you just do whatever you want to do and you're kind of spontaneous, that is intimidating and scary to some people, or most people who like things to be, you know, very clean, very I can't find the word I'm looking for, but I know what the word I'm looking for is. Like clean, tidy, simple is a good word as well. They want things to be simple, and you're the opposite of simple. You like things to be very, you know, maybe on the go. You decide on the spot. You're quick on your feet, that kind of vibe. You're very adaptable, very adaptable is another word I was looking for. Quick on your feet, very adaptable. But all those things coming together make you like someone who's very hard to pin down. People like things that are sure, and you're not sure, you know? That's the energy that's coming through. So now what I want to do is get the book for this one, because I'm not too... This is like giving mimic, you know, mimic cry. So there's something about maybe crows sounding like other animals to get you to come to them or something, that kind of vibe. And I love how maybe some of you, or maybe you guys, should watch The Crow, because that is also a movie that one just came out, but it was a readaptation with something Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, and FKA Twigs. I liked it. I mean, I know there was an original one, and I do believe someone, my friend, told me that the original guy who played the Crow like died during filming because of a stunt. So like a tragic accident, a tragedy, and that is what Edgar Allan Poe is all about. So that could be something coming through for you guys. Maybe you're a tragedy, I'm hearing. An unfinished symphony. So you're definitely someone who doesn't have their life together. You don't know what you want to do, who you want to be, what you want to eat that day, like I said before. And that is something that's scary to people, because they want things that are in absolutes and sure, and, you know, no black and white, essentially. They don't want things that are in the shade of gray, and that's you. 50 Shades of Grey could also be a big thing for you, so you guys can be into BDSM, you know, dom, sub, things like that, sadist, masochist, and people are like, oh no, bondage, you know, domination, that kind of stuff. And that is something that's scary and intimidating to people who don't know the vanillas, okay? So yes, let me read what the Mimicry says for you guys before we get into your reading. The crow's call was so human-like that it convinced the dog that it was its guardian calling out. Stop it. Although most cases are found within domesticated crows like parrots, crows have an ability to mimic sounds, from voices to sirens. Mimicry may arise in a reading if you need to consider if someone is putting on airs or is pretending to be something that is not genuine. On the other hand, it may be you that might benefit from a little mimicry. Sometimes we need to fake it till we make it and project a persona that is not our own to get a foot in the door, but be cautious. The truth may come out and you may be required to provide your authenticity. Mimicry may also indicate that someone is trying to sound or pass themselves off as something other than themselves to gain favor or your attention. You may need to ask yourself if this individual is showing you their authentic self or simply pretending to be something you find more attractive. Now, something that is scary and intimidating about you could be something about you being able to, like I said, be more than one person. And people are scared because they think it comes off fake. Maybe some of you are just fake. Who knows? I don't know who's watching, honestly. So people are scared because they think you're fake, or you put on a face, you put on something that they think you want them to see instead of who you actually are. So you put on a front, essentially. And it's unsettling to them because they don't know which is the real you, the one that you show them in the beginning, or the person you became, the person you put on, or the person you actually are. They're just never sure with you, which is the thing that I was talking about. You're unsure in who you are as a person. You don't know if you want to be someone who's this way or that way. And if you change on a daily basis, people think of that as fake, you know, instead of multifaceted, you know, in a way. But some of you could really just be fake. I don't know. And that's what people think about you. They think you're fake. You could be, some people are here are Geminis, you know, because Geminis have a bad reputation of being two-faced, you know, that kind of thing. So that could be something that's coming through here. People think you're a little two-faced. And that is scary to people who like things to be sure and they don't want to be bamboozled, you know? So I hate having to do it, but I have to shuffle it. And the Fool, I hate shuffling a nice brand new deck. But somebody's got to do it. Like, I was wondering what the dog had to do with it in this card. Like, why is the dog here? Because the dog is like, Ma, Pa? And they just look up and see a bird. How rude. Is that why dogs like chasing birds? Because birds be out here trying to pretend to be they people? That's funny. Okay. Dang. I didn't get time to shuffle properly yet. Okay, so what is intimidating, frightening, or downright scary about my group ones, please, Spirit? What is? Some of you could put on voices. Y'all see how it slid into the reverse? I don't like that. Or maybe they didn't. Who knows? Because I shuffled the cards, so some are already in reverse in the deck right now, which is why shuffling is a thing. What is frightening, intimidating, or downright scary? Wow. Okay. Hey, now, what we're not going to do is have all these cards in reverse. Are all these cards in reverse? No. Like I said, some of them are up. They're just coming out in reverse. Interesting. Yeah, people think you portray yourself as something that they want, like their hopes and dreams, that kind of thing. You portray as this perfect person, their dream person, and then maybe you may turn out as not being that, or they're scared that you're just putting on a front. That could be something that's coming through. Put these to the side and get some cards from here. What makes them intimidating, frightening, or downright scary, please, Spirit? My group ones. Give us a key. Frightening, intimidating, or just downright scary. What about my group ones has people scared of them? You know that kind of too good to be true thing people say, where you meet somebody and they're just too good to be true? It's kind of like, yeah, people think they literally conjured up the perfect guy. And anytime I see that or feel that kind of feeling, I always get the whole thing from Practical Magic, where she purposely made a perfect person and said, so she could never fall in love, and then that perfect person shows up and she's like, huh? Like the way in the movie, she literally hopped up and ran from that man when they was getting intimate in the movie, because she saw that he had one green eye, one blue, and she was spooked. Sis ran. And the guy was like, huh? Like, I always never forget how confused and adorably, like, is it nonplussed his face was, like, where you're just like, huh, what happened, you know? And then they like meet up later on, and she tells him, or when he figures out she's a witch or whatever, she's like, I literally conjured you up when I was younger to make sure I would never fall in love because you weren't supposed to ever be a real person. And that man ended up being real, child. I think she was like, there was a bunch of stuff she wrote down. But the one that like had her spooked the most when they were getting intimate, and like she saw that he had like one green eye and one blue, and she was like, what the hell? She just ran for her life. We have the Pack. You know what? Let me get more cards from the Crow deck. What makes them frighteningly scary, please, Spirit? Interesting. The things you do for survival. I'm hearing the game of survival. There could be games, you play games with people, or they think you're playing games. Because not everyone is innocent. So y'all could be out there doing some things. Y'all could be playing games with people's feelings. Here we have Anomaly. Interesting. This came through in the little short reading that I did in the beginning of the reading for those who stuck around for the unboxing. So maybe some of you did. You have Illusion. Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's something about people thinking that you put on a front, that when the person they see is not the real you. And then the last card we have is Commitment, but it wants to come out in reverse, which is something that I do feel called to note. So maybe you're someone who's a commitment phobe, where people think that you're too good to be true. So you wouldn't, of course, want to be in a relationship because people think that people who look a certain kind of way or act a certain kind of way will never want to be serious. It's something that could be coming through for you guys. Okay. And I don't know why I feel called to separate the cards in this manner, but I'm doing it. We have Commitment, Mimicry. So you mimic the kind of relationship they would want. Because I love how I put this card in the front. I don't know why I did, but now I do because the message is coming through. They think you pretend to be like the perfect partner you put on, you know. I put on for my city, on for my city. I put on east side, put on west side. Let me stop. I don't even remember what song that is, okay? But there's something here about you putting on a front, you putting on a persona, you putting on this personality that you think people want so they don't get to see the real you. Now, this personality could actually be you, and people are just bug-lugging, or their instincts are telling them you're not being truthful, and there's something about them that I haven't uncovered yet, and that makes me wary because I want to know what I'm getting into, which nothing is sure absolute. So I don't know why people think that way, but hey. Here we have an illusion. They think that they're just seeing what they want to see. That's kind of the vibe that comes with you. And that's scary, especially if you represent this perfect person that they have, you know, searched for, looked for, manifested. It's scary to meet the person you've been wanting forever, and you don't want to get too attached because there's room to be really deeply hurt with that, you know, especially when in the movie, if we're going back to Practical Magic, how her family was cursed to never fall in love with the person they fall in love with or married was like died in every generation, you know. So it's scary to fall in love with someone because you think something's gonna happen to them, or maybe you just have, you know, anxious attachment kind of vibes, and you're just like, or avoidant attachment, who knows. And it's like you are scared to give yourself to people or be open or get into relationships, period, because maybe you attract commitment phobes. Maybe they're the problem, you know. Maybe they're the problem. Like I said, I'm not trying to glorify you or make you like the non-villain in the story, the hero, but I'm like, I feel like the people who watch my readings are pretty chill. I don't think y'all out here putting on and pretending to be someone to hurt people. So you could be someone who is a dream person for people, and they're scared to get hurt so deeply by falling in love with their perfect person that they run. And that's their problem. They're anxious avoidant, or they're just anxious or just avoidant, and they run from secure connections. And you represent a secure connection because we have commitment coming through here. But they think, oh, you're going to leave them. That's the kind of vibe of people who have like anxious avoidant or anxious attachment. They think I have to leave before I get left. And that could be the kind of people you attract at the leave before I get left. And it always leaves you in lurch, even though you're the perfect person to be in a relationship with, because it's like, hey, what did I do? I'm what you've been said you wanted in a relationship or in a person. Now you're leaving me? Like, it makes no sense. But that's the vibe that's coming through. And then we have, yeah, look, and it's about survival. Exactly. It's about survival. Or there's also something about when you are mirrored, the kind of person you are back at you. When you meet someone who is your mirror, it causes a lot of conflict. It causes a lot of shadow work that must be done to kind of fix those things, because people say what you don't like in other people are the same things you don't like in yourself, and that is like a reflection that you have to now heal, you know. And there was something about a video that I was watching yesterday on TikTok where it was kind of like reviewing a scene in it's a show on Netflix with Kristen Bell, and I forget his name, but it's like a romantic comedy or something of the sort. And basically he's like talking her down after she got the ick and she's trying to push him away, and he's basically saying, I understand why you got the ick, like your family is this and that, and da da da. So basically saying, I understand why you act the way you act, you're not too much, I can handle you, I want to be that person for you. And the person who was doing the video was saying the girl was anxious attachment or avoidant, and the guy was secure with anxious leaning, or leaning anxious, something like that. So basically he was a secure person, but he did have anxious, attachment, because she ran, and he like ran after her asking, what's wrong? What's the problem? Why did you ghost me? Why you not want to be with me? I haven't seen the show yet. I do plan to watch it someday. But it's just one little scene we saw. So she was like, the girl was anxious. She was running away from him or being avoidant. And he's saying, hey, what those people need is someone to tell them, I'm going to be here for you. You're not too much. I can handle you, that kind of thing. There's no need for you to run. So he kind of inadvertently or purposely reversed her ick of him, and they kind of made up in the end, kind of vibe. But he made it really like, it was serious conversation, but he made it a little lighthearted and funny and had her laughing and that kind of vibe, which is the perfect way to resolute a conflict like that, well, based on what the lady said, child. But I think it was cute too, I think it was very woman coded, those kinds of shows where the guy is like sensitive and sweet, and that could be something you are as well if you're a guy watching. Girls are like, gosh, not supposed to be sensitive and sweet and romantic. This is all that I've been wanting in my life, and you just come, and now I'm like, no, you're lying to me. You're saying you want commitment and you don't. You're saying you want this, you don't, and that is a mirror, that you're mirroring certain things back to them. They may say they want commitment, but they don't. They may say they want to fall in love, but they run, So it's like the things we don't like in people, we run from other people, are things that we haven't kind of, come to terms with in ourselves, essentially, So that is something that is scary about you, because you make people have to face their selves, their inner ghosts, their inner demons, their inner battles, their inner shadow. They have to face that in order to be in a committed relationship. But this person still may be currently in survival mode, or the people you interact with, since this is why people find you intimidating, they're not ready to be in a committed relationship. They haven't dealt with those demons or those shadows yet. And now they're just in survival mode and they run away. Or you, like I said, attract people in survival mode and they're not ready to kind of grow up or take the steps needed or necessary to be in a committed relationship, and you scare them because you're someone who was everything they could possibly want. And it's like, oh, I'm undeserving, and they run. I'm too much, they run. This person's gonna leave me, so I might as well leave them first, and they leave. That kind of energy. Yeah. But now to the tarot cards. I've been focusing too much on the oracle cards. The Five of Swords in reverse is definitely inner turmoil. It represents that as well. It also represents getting bested in like a intellectual duel or a fight or something like that. The Five of Swords is someone walking away as the victor of said fight, and it could always be you, and that scares people as well, because you have the gift of truth, of honesty. You tell people what needs to be told, or you're able to analyze them in a way where they feel attacked and then they leave. So you tell them what needs to be told, because the Ace of Swords didn't want to come out for you guys, right? But I put it back in the beginning. I did see the Ace of Swords. You tell the truth and tell people what needs to be said. And it makes them scared, or makes you scared or intimidated, because some people don't want to hear the truth, or they're not ready to face the truth, The Four of Swords. You're a very contemplative person, I would say. I do feel like you think before you speak, so you're not someone who's just like telling people, you went da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. No, you're going to sit back. You're going to analyze the situation, and then you're going to come back with like a report. It's the vibe that's coming through. You're coming back with receipts. So if you meet someone, for example, and they start showing little red flags, you're like, okay, I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna let you do that for a little minute. And then as soon as there's like a big argument, here you come pulling out the receipts. Well, on October 9th of 2022, you said this and this and that. And that reminded me of, oh, you could have this kind of attachment style. And, oh, when you also told me, you gave me the vibe of someone that I met before who had daddy issues and is giving the same thing. And you just read them to filth and leave. And you do it in like a calm manner, not getting fights and arguing, because that's more Five of Wands. It's you fully slay people with just your words, and you do it in a calm manner, which is something that is also scary, you know? Because another thing that I was seeing on TikTok, I'm on TikTok too much. As someone who almost refused to download it, to now someone who be on there is crazy to me. That's why I didn't want to download it. But anyway, I learn things, so that's why I keep it, you know? There's basically someone who was like, for my people who like the originals, they were like, us Klaus girlies, we're mentally unstable, we're mentally unwell, we know this. But the Elijah girlies, there's something wrong with y'all. Because that man was cold, he was calculated, he wasn't impulsive in the slightest. And it's funny how after I liked that post, that they started showing me little clips from the show, and there was one clip in the show, I should say, where he came very calmly up to the door and he was talking to a woman that was inside, and he was like, you know what, I find very entertaining how I told so-and-so how she should put this house on the market to save it as a historical site or something so they couldn't tear it down, and da-da-da-da, and in doing so she made it open to the public, so it's no longer a private property, because I guess they were hiding in the house away from Elijah because the whole mythical lore that vampires can't come into your house unless they're invited. So the girl was in there real confident saying, yeah, you can't come inside, it's my house and you weren't invited, da-da-da-da. And he's like, you know, it's funny how I told so-and-so how to put this heart in order to save the house, to put it on the market, or da-da-da-da, and now it's a public house. And she was like, you're lying, you can't come in. Man walked in so calmly. He was not irrational or upset in the slightest. You would think he was just ordering a coffee or something. And that's what makes you very scary, that kind of cold, calculating nature where you don't blow up on people. You just sit back, you analyze, you find all their weaknesses, and then when it's time for a fight, you completely slay them with what you've kind of little picked up about them on the on the journey of getting to know them a little bit. And that's what is very intimidating about you. You keep receipts on people and then slay them open when you get upset, or when they try to come for you, or when you feel attacked and you have to go into survival mode. Now all of a sudden you sitting there telling them all these things back at them, and you're just like, you're hurting them, you're hitting them where it hurts, essentially. And that's something that's scary. And some of you, I'm hearing cinnamon roll. Some of you could look like a cinnamon roll, and you're doing these things and saying these things in like a very cold, maybe detached kind of manner where you don't really care about the outcome. And that's scary to people because you have no emotion on your face. You don't show emotions very well. So you come off as like, like I said, cold and detached. And that is intimidating and scary, okay? Especially when you feel like someone's analyzing you and picking up on all your weaknesses, but you can't do the same for them because they're cold. You can't read them. That's the energy coming through. So it's like all of us girls are obsessed with Klaus because he was a hothead, he was passionate, he went after what he wanted. And then we have the Elijahs who are just there in their suit and shiny shoes, not a hair out of place. They talk very regularly while telling you they're gonna do this to you and do that to you. And it's just like, yeah, there's something off with you. Okay, we can understand why we feel called to Klaus, but Elijah, I like both of them. I ain't gonna lie, child. I'm a both girl, which means there's something wrong with me. I don't care at this point, but it's like when you're attracted to those kind of people who are emotionally unavailable, I would say, or come off that way, it's scary. So maybe if you're not that person, the emotionally unavailable person, that's the people you are attracted to, and that makes you frightening because people are like, why would you want to be with a person who's emotionally unavailable? That's scary, Wow, we have the pack, we have inner work, deep connection, and soul tribe. So people feel like I said, you know them so well, and that's scary as well when someone is seeing all your flaws, seeing all the things that make you tick, all of your weaknesses essentially, and reflecting them back at you. That's very scary. But here we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. It's like you could, like I said, you come off like a cinnamon roll, but you're not a cinnamon roll. Like that whole trend on social media was like, looks like a cinnamon roll, it's a cinnamon roll. Looks like someone who could schmill you, and they can schmill you. They look like a cinnamon roll, but they are someone who can schmill you. That kind of thing is coming through. For you guys, you look like a cinnamon roll, because here we have the Nine of Cups, and we have this very flowery, bright kind of person. Okay? But look, we have the dark storm clouds behind her. So people are like, you look innocent, but you're mean and ruthless. You come off as unassuming, but you can literally lay or read someone to feel really crazy. Like, you know what I mean? You look like my every dream and desire all wrapped up into someone, but you're not, because you can turn around and easily be someone who, like, could end me emotionally. Anyway, speaking with the Nine of Cups being emotions. Now we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. I do think your restraint is scary, and that's also a very Elysian trait coming through. Your restraint. Or like I said, you're not someone who's very passionate, or you're fighting, or you're making your intentions known. It's kind of like you're sitting back, analyze like a computer, and then it's like, when computers are having problems where you're able to scan the computer or do like a wellness report of the computer. You scan the computer and the computer comes back and tells you what's wrong with it. That's literally you. You can probably psychoanalyze yourself most of the time, and others, and that's something that's intimidating, because you see through it. And that song is coming through again by what's his name? Preoccupied by John Belly, and it came through in what your aura said about you, and that was coming through again, because once you see the genius, it's intimidating, isn't it? Once you see the genius behind you, people see the genius behind you, it's intimidating, And he also says in the song, they told me that my attention span aligns somewhat with a child or a fly. They didn't understand that I saw signs. Looking back, but now I realize, boom, 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 boom. The woman that I prayed for became my wife, and things that I wrote down, they came to life. I realized there's money in my mind, so I'm glad I live my life preoccupied, So you could always be like aloof, or you're always in the clouds, or you're just never there. Maybe you space out sometimes, and it scares people, It's intimidating because maybe you're never fully in the room, Like, are you in the room with us? Are you present? Are you here? Are you with me? And you're like, yeah, I am. But then you kind of go off in another world somewhere, and you come back, and that person's like, where did you go? And you're just like, huh? And they're like, where did you go? And you're just like, nowhere. And they're like, you just space out like that sometimes. You're just like, yep. It's like you don't explain why. You don't, go into detail, and that's intimidating in it, in and of itself, I would say. But yeah, basically what the song's about is him going off about being ADHD, I believe, and saying that people made it seem like it was a weakness. But it's like, once you see that the genius of it, it's intimidating, isn't it? People who are neurodivergent, who are on the spectrum, things like that, people see it as a weakness. But once it's like used, and those people who are highly intelligent, highly perceptive, highly sensitive, you know what I mean? They see things in their mind process or works in ways that we can never fully understand, and that's intimidating when we don't understand people. They're an enigma, essentially, an anomaly. It's hard to understand. Yes, exactly. That's intimidating. And the fact that you've done the inner work is definitely intimidating, because like I said, you attract people who haven't done the work, and once you kind of hold them to that certain standard of, hey, I healed, it's time for you to heal now, it makes someone run, because they're like, I'm not ready to heal. But like people do say, it's the healers that attract the narcissist. It's the people who are secure, or the opposite of what you are, that attract those kind of people. So like I said, the lady was anxious in the show. The guy was, no, she was avoidant, I believe. The guy was anxious leaning but secure, and they like called upon each other and felt, that connection with each other. And I do believe when you read the synopsis for the show, it says two people who think they're too different to be in a relationship. Is what I remember reading on the synopsis when I clicked on the show, when Netflix showed it to me. So it's like, there's one person who's this way, and there's another person who's more conservative, and they don't think they would ever get along, or their lives would ever work, but yet they felt called to each other. They feel that connection between each other. That could be the vibe that's coming through here. You're emotionally open, and you pride yourself on your connections in your life. You have a pack of people, a support system, a tribe, that kind of vibe. a soul tribe as well, because I feel like when you do the healing work, you attract other people who are on that journey as well. So you have a soul tribe full of healthy and happy coexisting friends. And then you meet someone who is not that way, and that is intimidating as well. The fact that you have so many good people around you. Because that's also hard to find these days. A soul tribe that's not conniving, wishing on your downfall secretly. Oh, that's hard. So now we have conjurer, which is higher self, fertility, and creativity. There is something very divine about you. Because I love how we have a crow, but the crow was like all white compared to the rest of them, which just would make sense about an anomaly, you know? And I'm hearing what's understood doesn't need to be explained. So there's something here about you understanding certain things and not having to explain it to someone. So it's like when you find other people who are neurodivergent like you, or different like you, or have ADHD like you, certain things you guys do, certain mannerisms, certain traits, behaviors, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. That's your soul tribe. You meet people who are just like you, and if we're all one way, there's no need for us to have to explain until we meet someone who's different. And that's you, the anomaly. So I do feel like is where you are you're a regular person, like your friend group. You represent an anomaly to other people who are different than you. So they're all dark crows, and you're the only light, bright crow. And they're used to being around people who are dark. So by meeting you, you're already different. They're like, why are you so different? Why do I feel this kind of way for you? And it's because you're different than them. They feel that. They see that. So it's like if you have been growing up and the friends you've always had have come from broken households, that's something that we all understand, you know? It doesn't need to be explained. We have attachment issues. We have avoidant issues. We have both. You know what I mean? All we're looking for is security. And that could be the people who you attract. And then we have this one anomaly who has had the father, who has had the mother, and you see them and they act different. They're very secure in the way they interact and communicate, and they're emotionally available. And you're just like, wait, who are you? That kind of energy, that's intimidating. To be around someone who seems to have it all together in some kind of way, and to be different than that or not feel worthy, it's like hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, essentially. So I think what makes you intimidating is the fact that you could be a little too perfect, or like I said in the beginning, there's something like very go with the flow. I listen to the signs and synchronicities of life, and people want things to be put in one box. They don't want to understand or have to understand anomalies, or open themselves up to things that are more woo-woo and divine when you have done that. So they meet someone like you and it's just like, huh? It's intimidating. It's very, very off-putting. But here we have, like I said, higher self, fertility, and creativity. And I do feel like because you've opened up yourself to those energies of believing in the divine and signs and synchronicities and things of that nature, like I said, you fully healed. You become a full person, a whole person. You're able to just get whatever you want. That kind of energy. You're able to win arguments. You're able to communicate efficiently without having to scream or raise your voice or this and that. And when people are used to toxic, it's hard for them to get used to secure. Anything else am I getting from this? What makes you intimidating or scary? Your voice. I'm hearing like monotone. Maybe you have like a monotone where like your inflections don't really change. It's kind of just like the same throughout. And that makes you scared. You talk with a quiet voice. You don't raise your voice. You don't get too excitable. And that's intimidating as well. Like your moods hardly ever change. You're just like a very, I wouldn't call it like blank or boring, but it's like, when you're talking, it stays even. You don't have any excitable, like, oh my gosh, I just did this, and then you go back down and, you know, you just stay like this, composed, well put together. And that's intimidating to people, or scary, I would say. They're just like, you don't ever sound excited, and something along those lines. I think there's something about that as well. I'm hearing someone here has like a very strong handshake that just came through randomly. I'm hearing you're able to fall asleep wherever, and that's intimidating as well, or scary. It's an anomaly, something they can't explain. They're like, how can you fall asleep on this MTA system? You're just like, I don't care. And the thing about me is how y'all able to fall asleep knowing you're going to be able to get up at your stop. That's my thing. If I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. I'm not hearing next stop, so-and-so. So I'm going to get all the way to the end of the line, and somebody's going to have to come wake me up, and then I'm stuck having to go all the way back or find my way home from there. No. If I'm sleeping, I need to sleep. I can't be my eyes closed and resting my eyes. Like, how am I going to get my stop? That's my way of thinking. Some people don't care. They're able to hear their stops in their sleep, and that's something different I never heard of before. But that's them. Good for y'all if y'all could do that, because I could never. People who are able to fall asleep anywhere. And I hear it a lot, like when I'm watching interviews of actors, where they're just like, people, my trick is I can fall asleep anywhere. Like, if we're done with the shoot, and we only have 30 minutes for the next shoot, and we're working all night, oh, basically I'm going to find a little corner and fall asleep anywhere. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can't, but cool. I need to have the mood. I need to have a blanket, a pillow, somewhere I feel safe and secure. I can't fall asleep in public. Anybody could be looking at you, touching you, taking your stuff. It's just, no. I can't. But I applaud people that can. Good for you. Okay, so we've gone through these cards. I want to put them up right, because I feel like you guys deserve to see them. They're so cute. Look at how they didn't chop this person up to pieces. Crazy. So we have like a lot of swords, and then we have cups and like one wand. It's like your mental energy. I'm hearing your mental fortitude. Maybe some of you are really good at spelling. You're really good at words, using big words. And you can make people feel like stupid sometimes. That's what makes you intimidating, your intelligence. Like I said, just your perception of things. Okay. And the mimicry is a voice. The way you can maybe, the way you sing. I'm hearing Aries singing, or like Aries talking. Like I said, you know what I'm seeing in my head right now? Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter, where she would like just go blank and say a prophecy and then come back and not even know that she zoned out. And that's kind of what I was getting earlier. You just kind of zone out, and they say, hey, hello, you listening? You're like, yeah, I'm listening. They're like, where did you go just now? You're like, nowhere. No, you just had a full-on prophecy or something like that. You know what I mean? You just go blank sometimes. And that's intimidating, or, you know, scary to people. Because you know the whole, but people don't understand, they're scared of, you know. I'm hearing you also give like an old-timey kind of vibe. Because I'm looking at her, and she can be from the modern world, but she's not really giving me that. Her dress, the way she's standing, her mannerisms is like giving old soul. You've been here many, 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 many times before already. That's the energy I'm getting for you guys. So maybe you guys, and look at how they have the same stance here. The conjurer. People can tell this is not your first rodeo. You haven't been around you've been around the block a few times. Maybe you've had multiple lives. Maybe you tell people you've had multiple lives, you've had past lives. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, you know? You can have a special relationship with animals. Because we have like dogs coming through. Of course, it's a crow oracle. But we have dogs coming through. And look at how we have 3 swords dangling over her while she's sleeping, but she has that one sword there to protect her. The Four of Swords is all about rest, rejuvenation, and meditation as well. So maybe you're someone who meditates in order to get message from spirit, and people just see you meditating and are like, are you okay? Because I feel like even though spirituality is becoming more mainstream, there are still certain things that people look at you sideways for doing, like meditating, you know what I mean? Saging as well, wearing crystals for protection, evil eye, you know, carrying around certain crystals or concoctions or poultices in your bag, like that kind of thing, you know? There's certain things that you do that people are like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I'm like, are you putting a spell on me? You're just like, child, ain't nobody worry about you. I'm doing this for me. Okay, for my pockets, for my well-being. Yeah, for my spiritual health and tidiness. I ain't worried about you. True. Like, what is understood don't need to be explained. Yeah, you should know what I'm doing. Where have you been? You know? And you can tell to them just like that. They're just like, wow, I've never. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's just something about your presence, there's something about your eyes, your stare, your stance, the way you stand, the way you stare at people. I don't know. I also think it's something about being secure in who you are that makes people intimidating as well. Because you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, act however you want, dance however you want, speak however you want, you know, sing however you want. It's just like that freedomness of not being scared or stuffed up or put in a box. I do feel like once you're someone who is I feel like if you're on the spectrum or you have like autism or you're neurodivergent, you don't really care what people think of you, you know? Because I'm getting Dr. Sean Murphy from The Good Doctor, how he just did whatever he wanted to do, said whatever he wanted to say, and they were worried that he wouldn't be a good doctor because he wouldn't be able to relate to people on an emotional level because he was cold, emotionless, whatever. And I did mention that for you guys as well, so it's coming through again. But he did have emotions. He wasn't a robot. He just explained things or did things or expressed his emotions in a different way. And because of that, they're like, oh my gosh, we don't. You have the brains, of course, but we don't think you have the heart, the emotion to be a good doctor. And I'm like, most of them there was worse than him in that show. But hey, and the way he would just stand and, you know, just stare or analyze people or not really say much or feel the need to coddle you or reassure you and make you feel good. Like all those pleasantries, those niceties were taught to make people feel comfortable. He wasn't doing all that, Sean. He was just saying whatever he wanted to say. He was being truthful, brutally honest. And that's something that people were like, oh, you know what I mean? It made them apprehensive, uncomfortable, essentially. So that's what's coming through for y'all. And like I said, he wasn't just impulsive. He was thinking about things before he did it. There was a specific way he would like his food to be placed, his bed to be made, his house to look. You know, that kind of energy, like overly clean, OCD, essentially. So you could have ADHD, OCD, neurodivergent, that kind of vibe. You know, you want things very particular. You like things to be a certain kind of way. And when they're not, you tend to kind of like malfunction. You know, because you want it that way and that's the way of keeping a semblance of control on your life because everything else is so out of control, you know. You want your clothes freshly washed, freshly pressed, shoes shined, put on your best face, your best foot forward. If you wake up and you're not wearing a suit, it's like your uniform is off and now you don't know who you are, who you want to be, you know. But anyway, but yeah, I do think there's something with the pack here. Deep connection, soul tribe. There's something about you having like protection around you is the energy that I'm getting. Because we have this lone crow here and they're the focus of the card, but behind them we have all these crows here protecting them. Here we have the woman here and we have her three animals protecting her. So it's the fact that you have a lot of protection around you is something that's very scary as well. The way you can conjure up certain things, you can conjure up certain messages, prophecies, physical, tangible things as well. And like I said, I do think you're the person who's doing like the root work. You're doing the mixtures, you're doing the going to the bank and putting stuff in the bank or planting something in the bank or taking soil from the bank for prosperity. You're actually doing physical like remedies or physical rituals in order to, you know, live your life a certain kind of way. And people looking at you sideways like, why are you coming to the bank trying to steal some sort? Like, they don't understand. But another witch or another someone who's seeing you, like, you know, what is understood don't have to be explained. You don't got to tell them why you're doing certain things. They just know. Okay? But I think I'm going to stop your reading there. If this reading resonated, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. I am having a $55 special for the month of October where you get 30 minutes, okay? In a reading, you could ask up to 2 questions, and it'll be sent to you through a private YouTube link. If you're interested, hit me up. Spots are limited, but you know what I mean? If you come to me at a specific time or when I've already knocked some out and I can get to more, I got you guys. But I hope this reading resonated. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 2s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose preparation, then welcome. You're in the right place, okay? Today, we're going to be getting into what about you is intimidating, frightening, and or downright scary to other people, okay? We could get traits, features, mannerisms, attitude, your vibe, all of those things that come through, or only a few of them, some of them, who knows. We're going to get into it and see what comes out. But thank you for being here. This is episode 3 in my spooky October series. Before we get into it, I am doing a $55 special for my channel right now, where you get 30 minutes, up to 2 questions, and you get a YouTube private YouTube link as you're reading, like you're watching me right now, but it's just a personal reading attuned specifically to you. I was getting a lot of signs and messages to do this special. I was seeing 555, 55 in many different forms, not even just in the time. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. And then I was just sitting here minding my business one day and the message came through. I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. So if anybody's interested or looking for a reading, you need help with something, need the questions answered, $55, 30 minutes, pretty good if you ask me. All you have to do is email me at ThePleadingPriestess@gmail.com, and I got you guys. But yeah, now that's out of the way. Also, like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. We'd love to have you. I'll be saving this for the end of the reading, but not everyone watched the end of the reading. So, hey, now let's get into it. Preparation. For you guys, what makes you intimidated? I feel like your nitpickiness, your preparedness, if you will. Like, you're always prepared for every single thing. If someone has a question for you, you're good at giving advice. You know how to get out of, tight spaces, tight pickles. Like, I feel like you're able to weasel your way out of trouble a lot is something that comes through. Or you're just always prepared for every situation. No matter if it's you have the tools or the mental wherewithal to get out of it. There's something about that, okay? Let's put this in the middle because we don't even have all the cards out yet. Also, I feel like, oh, I just heard a message. There's something about you willing to do whatever needs to get done to get to what you want. So maybe a little ruthless in your pursuits of your passions, or protecting the people you love, or just, getting whatever you want. I would say you're ruthless, determined, same, different sides of the same coin, okay? Because as long as it's not hurting you or your people, you may be willing to do whatever you want, and it may hurt other people, but you're not worried about that because you're worried about it only affecting you and yours, that kind of thing. And that is a scary thing, because if you're willing to do anything to get success, get money, get fame, notoriety, that's intimidating, okay? Okay, so we're gonna get some more cards first before I get into the energy. So let's shuffle through these cards. Today in this reading, I'm using the Crow Oracle, the Urban Crow Oracle. I did do an unboxing of these 2 decks that I'm using, which is this one, the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot deck. I didn't really do much, just open them. If you guys want to go see that and talk to you guys a little bit about specific things. I also did a little mini reading in the beginning of the reading. Yeah, what's the beginning of the reading? But at the end of the unboxing, for if you want to go watch that as well. But yeah, I'm using the Urban Crow, Edgar Allan Poe. Interesting. We have distraction turned over in the deck. I don't know why I felt called to shuffle through it. Okay, we'll see if it comes out again. And then I'm using the Earth and Bone Oracle, which I did use already, but so there's no need for me to have to open it. So please, Spirit, what makes my group 2s intimidating, scary, or downright frightening? Group 2. What makes my group 2s frightening, intimidating, or downright scary? We have distance. I'm hearing dissociation, so maybe you're easily able to dissociate. And then we have curiosity. Curiosity, preparation, distance. Can I get one more card for my group 2s, please? Okay, geez, Louise. And we have anticipation. So I do think even though people are scared to see what you'll do because you may give like a ruthless energy, they're still excited to see what you do or come up with. Or what you achieve in the world, essentially. So let's get the rest of the cards out. I'm hearing leader of the pack. Some of you could be performers, because there's something here about people looking at you or you always being like in someone's line of sight. So you just always being around. I don't know. You always being there, present. Because here we have a bunch of buildings. We have a bunch of buildings. We have a bunch of seats. What is intimidating, frightening, or downright scary? You have 8 of Swords. Yeah, you're fearless. Nothing scares you. You're willing to go on a stage in front of millions of people and sing or perform or act. And that's intimidating. You have a Page of Pentacles. I need to read more Edgar Allan Poe things. I feel like these are giving me like energies from his stories since it's his deck. But I haven't read all of his work. That would kind of give me more insight into maybe the characters that are coming through. But we'll just stick to the regular archetypes of the Page of Pentacles. What makes them intimidating, frightening, or downright scary? Please spare up my group 2s. Okay. We have 8 of Cups. Ooh, the way you're... See, yeah, there's something here about you, like I said, being ruthless, willing to leave anybody behind, to get forward in life is something that's coming through. We have 4 of Wands. You're willing to walk away from things in your pursuit of success. We have the 2 of Wands. And then we have the King of Swords. Yeah, so you give off a cold and calculating vibe, which kind of came through group 1, but I don't want to compare groups. You could or could not have been called group 1. I do want to get some cards from this deck to give me a full picture. And then I'm going to get into it. Group 2, please, Spirit. What makes them intimidating, frightening, or downright scary? Group 2. Wow. Speaking of group 1, this exact card came through in group 1. Group 2, please, Spirit. What is intimidating, frightening, and or downright scary about them? When it comes to how other people perceive them. If y'all don't give me another card. Thank you. And can I have one more? One more, yes or no? One more shuffle through. One more card, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so we do have one more card. We have the Key. Interesting. See? Yeah, you have all the answers. You're very good at giving advice. And then in the deck, we have Beloved flipping over. Love, reciprocity, intertwinement. And it's funny because I thought one of these cards was the 2 of Cups, but it wasn't. So the 2 of Cups came through, not in the cards, but in my mind's eye. Okay. So you have a lot of cards, so let's get into them. Where can I put you? Keep it there for now. Okay, so how you're always prepared. Yeah, I do feel like people think that you always come prepared to a problem. Like you're not bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're not doing any of those things. You're coming fully prepared, fully armored up to overcome or to win, to persevere over any problem that could happen. So it's giving me how some people like to bother me when I have my big bags full of everything I could ever need in case something comes up. Like, why are you carrying that big bag? Because you never know what happens. You never know what's going to happen, what's going to come. You never know what you're going to need. You have to bring everything, you know? So you may overthink, or there's something about you just always having everything so you don't have to overthink, you know? Because the Eight of Swords is overthinking, you know? But with it coming out in reverse, it's kind of like you do certain things or you make certain plans or set certain things up in a way where you don't always have to be worrying in your life. And that's intimidating because the way you have your life so together is essentially what is coming through with the preparation. And people are curious as to how you have everything working as a well-oiled machine. So you know how sometimes like giving me your success is intimidating to people. Because when someone has it all together, they have all the answers, nothing is wrong with them, they're perfect. That kind of energy, whether it's just in intelligence or looks, you know, perfectly put together, hair gel back, clothes perfectly pressed, no stains, never anything, you know, wrong, that kind of thing. It's intimidating to people how someone could just come and be so perfectly well put together. How they're never overthinking or worried or insecure about certain things. That could be a thing as well, your confidence, how you're never insecure. Because we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, and then we have the King of Swords. And I don't think he's ever worried about how he looks. And this is like a very dapper gentleman. You know what's giving how, it's like a pimp, essentially. How they take care of everything and they just tell the person where to go and they get most of the money because they're the ones who's providing the opportunities, you know? So it's kind of giving like a ruthless CEO, which I did say. So yeah, that's what's scary about you, where you would be willing to, I'm not saying you'd be willing to pimp out someone in your life or your friend group, but it's kind of like a pimp wouldn't pimp out their mother or their daughter or their sister, but they have no problem doing it to other people's daughters and mothers and sisters, you know? So that's the kind of vibe that's coming through. Or maybe they would, who knows? That could be a vibe as well coming through. But you just don't give any Fs. You come off completely emotionless, which is the King of Swords kind of energy as well, where you don't have any reservations is the word I was looking for. You don't have any reservations about what you do, how you act, the things you do, and the things you say. Kind of energy is kind of like, deal with it or leave. Okay. Yeah, but there is an energy of people always wondering what you're going to do next. And you do keep a specific emotional distance with people. Or it could even be a physical distance. Because even in like a performer, when they're performing, there's always a distance between them and the crowd. There's something that sets them apart, you know? Where I'm the performer and you're the audience. So I'm on the stage, you're in the crowd. You know what I mean? Distance. I'm in the plane, you're on the ground, you know? So like maybe an uppity nature about you where you feel like you're better than other people, and that's what's intimidating about you. Because like I said, you have that confidence. And it's a quiet confidence because the King of Swords is the least boastful, out there, exaggerated or exuberant king there is. He's the one that's just quietly in the background observing everyone, you know, minding his business. Like, if you want to learn from me, come learn from me. If you want to have a conversation, come talk to me, you know? But you're not really going to get much more than that. Like, his emotions are very composed, kept away from everyone else, you know, just his. He's not giving it to everyone else, you know? So if you need help, cool. If you want me to come to a house or go to a party or something, no. But if you need me to help you with something, sure. That kind of energy, like a teacher who's not able to associate or mingle with the students outside of class. You have a question about schoolwork, cool. If it's about my personal life, no. You know, that kind of life, your private, exclusive is what I just heard as well. But like I said, there's something like that sets you apart, whether you are a teacher or you are a performer. There's something about you versus them, you against them. There's you and then there's them. Okay? So we have Page of Pentacles, which is an energy of always on the move, always planning something, always doing something in the shadows. So I do feel like you, yes, you're very private, you guys, my group too. You like just go mind your business and you pop out one day with a new Benz or a new Aston Martin or a new Ferrari. People are like, how did you get that? Oh, I've been working. I've been, doing certain things. What have you been doing? Oh, just a few things. You did nothing too much. What do you mean nothing too much? How can you afford a whole Ferrari and it's nothing too much? Let us in on the secrets. Tell us, and you don't tell nobody nothing. So like only your family, your friends know how to get certain things, but people who are strangers don't. So you walk around the best of the best of clothing, or you always look very well put together. You have hair that's always, either gel back or straight into the gods, or just always looking good. And people are like, how do you do this? Where do you buy your clothes from? Oh, just places. Where do you get your hair from? If you are someone who wears hair, it doesn't matter. Who did your hair? Oh, just a friend of mine. Like, you don't give too much away unless you want to, which leads to this curiosity about who you are and where do you go and what do you buy and what's your job and how you're able to afford this and that kind of energy. And it's intimidating because people feel lesser than. It's scary because they don't know where you're getting your money from. You're just popping out with new shoes, new this, new bags, new this every day. And people are like, where? I've never seen you work. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. That's my business, Eight of Cups, you're always leaving. I do feel like you're the kind of friend who does like Irish goodbyes. So you leave and your friend's like, oh my gosh, where's Sarah go? Like, oh my gosh, like, they're scared and they're just like, oh, I just went home. But why would you not tell us you went home? We came here together. Oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. I just left, That kind of energy. So you're never here. You're never there. You keep a specific distance from people in your life, even friends. And that's scary because you come off as like, I don't need anyone. I don't want any close connections, Next, we have the Four of Wands. And look at how I've never seen this interpretation of the Four of Wands, but it is playing into what I was saying about you just being by yourself, you being fully happy and satisfied on your own. Because here we have the Four of Wands, we have a lady who's just like laying here, and it's like she's just chilling. Usually the Four of Wands is depicted by two people who are like getting married or under an altar, like celebrating their marriage. And this is someone who's just chilling by themselves in nature, just fully happy and satisfied being on their own away from other people. And the people are just like, are you sure you don't want me to come with you? You're like, no, I'm good. Are you sure you don't want any friends? Or no, I'm good. Are you sure you don't want a friend to come with you on this vacation? No, I'm good. I can travel by myself. I like my peace. And when people aren't able to be in your business or know what you're doing or know what makes you tick or know how you're getting what you get and that kind of thing, they don't know much about you, that makes you scary. Because it's like an air of mystery around you. Now, like, hey, what does this person do? What's their name even? I don't even know their name, They're always constantly learning new things about you. And like, I've known you for 10 years. How did I not know this? You never asked. And I never said. It's as simple as that. If you're not asking me myself, what am I doing here giving you a tell-all book on me? You better ask some questions. Friend or not, lover or not. Sure. Anyway. Conjurer. Oh, here we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Yeah. There's something here about you keeping your plans close to your chest, secret. Because the Two of Wands is a planning energy of deciding what you're going to do, what your next step is going to be. And the Two of Wands in reverse is telling people, yeah, I'm making moves, but you just don't know what they are. I'm moving in the shadows. It's essentially what it is. You're a shadow man or woman or person, And people are sat. They have their chairs set out, waiting for your next show, waiting for your next release, waiting for your next speech, your next proclamation, the next time they're going to see you, the next time they hear your voice, that kind of energy, because you keep all those things like very close to your chest, essentially, is what I'm getting, which is why we have on cover here. Exactly. With the Conjurer, there is something here about people thinking that you're using like maybe dark magic, because this person, it looks like he's concocting something in his little whatever this is. It looks like a pot. It could be a cauldron. Who knows? People think you're cooking up or doing witchcraft or wizardry or some illegal black or dark matter to get the things you're getting. You're just like, nope, I'm just, living life. I'm minding my business kind of vibe. There's no need for you to know what I'm doing. Okay, so how you're just able to make anything happen is definitely something that is terrifying about you as well. Or I'm hearing you're terrifyingly accurate, so maybe you're definitely someone who you may read cards, or you say things are going to happen, they do happen, or you say you could have been someone who said, I'm going to be a millionaire by the age of 35, and I became that person. I'm seeing how people said how Tom Holland, essentially, who is the newest Spider-Man, okay, he literally said when he was younger, I want to be the next Spider-Man. If I could play any character, I would play him. He became Spider-Man. He said, oh, my favorite video game series is Uncharted series, and then he ended up playing something Drake in the series. How he said, oh, my celebrity crush is Zendaya, even though he said it jokingly, and now he's dating her. Like, that man literally manifested his whole life into existence. Like, he needs to show us his ways in the same way people are just like, oh, he's just lucky. Like, the people that know. Okay, so there could be something about that as well, how you're able to conjure things up around you, and like I said, you just pop out the newest whip and the newest phone and the newest this and the newest that, and people are like, how? And you're just like, well, it ain't your business how I get what I get and how I do what I do. Okay, but people do want to know your ways. I'm hearing teach me your ways, okay? Show me your ways, essentially. Now, here we have uncover. There's a lot people want to uncover about you because you're so mysterious and you keep your business to yourself. Because we have uncover and curiosity. Like, I think that's not a coincidence as well. And then, like I said, in the Four of Wands, she's by herself. And there's two people up here just, talking about her, gossiping, or just looking down on her and just like, yeah, she chilling on a bed of flowers, minding her business, not worry about nothing. Okay, so maybe you keep to yourself because you don't like drama, because like here by themselves, and there's a lot of cards with crows surrounded by other people, and here they're mostly this person and the rest of them, this crow far away from the rest of them, this crow with a little group of people, but everyone else far away from them, so it's giving you have like a very core circle of people, and they could be people who know what you've been through, but you're not someone who has like a bunch of friends. I'm hearing no new friends, So it says nostalgia, sentimentality, or memory. So maybe you become someone different than people used to know. It could be something coming through as well. You used to be one person, but you've walked away from a core group of people, or you've walked away from one core person. And you being able to just drop everything and walk away from someone and be on your own, because this is telling a story here. Eight of Swords, you gave up on thinking about people too much, or giving too much people your mental space in your mind, in your head, in your energy, okay? Here we have Page of Pentacles. You started working on yourself, conjuring things up, and look at how what he's pouring into is making these shadows around him. So now he's cloaking himself and keeping himself away from everyone else, keeping himself in the shadows, in the dust, or where people cannot see what he's doing. And then here we have him walking away from people. So he cast some very strong spells, stay away from me, leave me alone, and now he's walking away from everyone from his past that was causing him turmoil, you know what I mean? Now we have this person who was walking and following these cups, because he's like, I could, staying here would have been all right, but I want complete fulfillment. I don't want just all right, I'm sick of living, so it's like giving someone who moved out of the ghetto. I don't want just this regular life. It's not doing it for me. I want to be extraordinary. I want to have a big career. I want to make a name for myself. Not Gambit coming through. I want to make a name for myself. I want to be big. You walked away from the small city. You walked away from the friends who weren't thinking big enough, and then you moved on to this solitary energy of, working with the angels, of communing by yourself, lighting candles, talking to the divine, talking to angels, ancestors, spirit guides, stuff like that. And now you're able to plan in secret where no one's going to foil your plans. Maybe you found before you would tell people too much about what's going to happen and they would ruin it, or they would send evil eye, or they would just, certain things would happen and sabotage you, and you learn to be very solitary and very discerning about who you have in your life with the King of Swords here. Like, no more. If you're no good for me, it's time for you to go. If you're not making me money, it's time for you to leave. You're not adding to my emotional well-being, it's time for you to dip. Simple as that. And that's when you start to be seen as a conjurer, someone who is evil. When you stop being a people pleaser and giving people what they want, that's when you become villain. You become the villain, the bad person, the one everybody's looking down on, when you start putting you first, okay? But the uncover, you definitely uncovered hidden secrets, and there's something about people wanting you to go back to who you used to be, because this new person of you is terrifying. It's scary because they don't have access to you. They don't have control over you anymore. So that's something coming through. Now the key, inner calling, clarity, intention. That's you. You stop being someone who's like overthinking things or thinking things were too hard. You prepared yourself. You got the proper things, the right books, the right ingredients, the right products, stuff like that. If you wanted to look better, you started using better hair products, you know, spending a little pretty penny, or paying for the extra the bundles, you know what I mean? For my girls who wear bundles. You wanted to be more confident, so you hopped in the gym and you made a transformation. Now you're a gym person. The people who used to be your friend is like, I miss the person who was unconfident, who was a little pudgy, and who wasn't the cute friend anymore. It's giving the stories that I've heard on TikTok of people who are like, oh, my friends hated that I got smaller and became the cute friend or prettier than them. They liked getting all the attention before, and now that I'm getting attention because I lost weight or started dressing a little bit better, they're mad. That kind of people, they're missing the old you, essentially, is what's coming through. And stop it. What is it? The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. That song with Taylor Swift is coming through. Look what you made me do. Like, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. The old me can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because they're dead, or you're dead to them. You're dead to the new me. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But yeah, there's something here about that. Now you keep your distance from people. You're a very solitary creature. And I'm being called to how a bunch of crows are called a murder. Not saying you do that. Not saying you do that, but there is something here about that. You and your crew were seen as like a murder of crows. And I'm like, but why y'all doing that to the poor crows? No wonder they get bad reps. Okay. And I'm also reading this book, Gothic Hana by Runix. It's a really good book. It's very gothic literature, very dark academia, very paranormal, very spiritual, very, you know, stuff like that. But also with a dash of romance, which I love. Okay. So, like, that's what's giving me. The main character, her name is called Corvina, which is called Little Crow or Little Raven or something, you know? And it's something about someone being dark, and she was raised away from society. Her mom kept her secluded, and she can hear, like, voices, and she has, like, different, you know? It's a really good book, child. And it's basically about her finding her Dracula guy, you know? Anyway. But the key, inner calling, clarity, you found your intention. You do things with intention. You found what you wanted to do, and you moved away from all the things and people that kept you away from that or held you back from that goal, you know, which is, like I said, became ruthless to cut everybody off. And now they're talking mess about how you became this different person when it's just you doing what needed to be done, being more strict, you know? I'm having a routine, eating only certain things, going to sleep at a certain time, not going out and drinking anymore. And people started seeing you as boring or a fuddy-duddy or someone that they were better than the rest of the crew. Something about that coming through. And that's intimidating because now they no longer know what you're doing, or people just in general don't know what you're doing in your life. You do certain things, come up with money in certain places, and they're just like, where did you get that money from? And it's just like, excuse me. You're very much in my business and don't do that. Thank you. Now, the last one we have is beloved, which is love, reciprocity, and intertwinement. You found love within yourself, that self-love. Because I thought this Two of Wands here was the Two of Cups, or one of these cards gave me Two of Cups. It's giving you may have found a nice, healthy relationship with an equal give and take. You guys are both giving what the other person needs. There's no person who's doing more than the other, and there could be something here about people envying that a little bit. Or people being obsessed with you guys is something that's coming through. Someone in your energy could be extra possessive or extra obsessed with you, and that's something that's coming through. With the why you scare, intimidating, because I do feel like you maybe inspire obsession other people, which is why you could have realized that, which is why you stay to yourself. You leave guys, and after you leave them, they're still calling you, texting you, showing up at your house, doing the drive-by, creating different accounts to get in contact with you, that kind of energy. But yeah, you are the way you dress, the way you look is intimidating. Yeah. Like clothing wise and demeanor wise, you know? Because look at this guy here. Looks very strong. An official person. Another official person right here. So like I said, you get a lot of attention because of how you look. Or the life that you lead. You know, you have a very nice lifestyle, a very active lifestyle, a very rich bish or rich man kind of lifestyle. You have an official job, which means you can't be buddy-buddy with too many people because you have access to sensitive information. Your soul is very wise and you see things with clear eyes. You see through people really well. And that's scary. So people think you see through them. And I do think they find themselves saying things around that they didn't mean to say. Because it's like, why did I say that? How did they uncover my secrets? Why did I feel like I know them, that I felt so comfortable divulging my deepest, darkest secrets, you know? So unknowingly, unwittingly, people just, you know, bare their whole life to you, even the darkest things they've done. And they're just like, why did I just say that? Even your lovers sometimes as well, they can be a little scared of you. In particular, because they see how you act and the things you do and the presence you have on people, or the effect you have on people, I should say. But Four of Wands and Beloved is definitely giving me love interest. So love interest, husbands, people like that, they're scared of you. So you're lovers. Because you could even come off a little cold and standoffish to them. Anything else? People could also be scared of you because, like I said, you evoke such loyalty and devotion from them. They feel that they've known you for longer than they have. They want to be with you. They feel that craving to be a lover of yours. Like I said, you're with them one time. They can't get enough. They want to be with you all the time. So that can be scary for someone to have such a visceral reaction to another human being and want to be around them all the time, be in their energy field. That's something that's also scary about you. The feelings you evoke in people. And I think it's more than just love. It's jealousy as well. Envy. You have a lot of people talking, even people in the spirit world, angels. They talk about you. You could literally have a prophecy to fulfill with inner calling here. They love how you move with intention, how you do everything you said you're going to do. How you said you're going to do things, you manifested all those things. Your friends are still maybe in less than stellar situations and they're mad or envious of what you have. And that's when you have to kind of like, you know, move on from those friends and leave them behind. Now they're mad and, you know, send you evil eye or they're envious. Those kinds of energies are coming through for you guys. You told them, I'm going to be famous one day, and they didn't believe you. Or because you're famous now, they expect you to give them an in everywhere or pay for this and pay for that. Or, you know, that kind of vibe. Entitlement when it comes to your energy and things that you've built or created for yourself. A lot of talk about you. Your vibe is very button up. Keeps to myself. Formal attire sometimes, suits. Some of you could be maybe police officers, firefighters, nurses, military. And you have to like keep to yourself because everything about your life isn't always safe, or I'm hearing isn't always kosher, isn't always digestible. So you have to keep a cloak of mystery around you because you can't tell everything to everyone. People who have been in the military can't come home and start just blabbering about everything they've been through. And, you know, it's only a specific people who are there that will ever fully understand the traumas and things that happened, you know? So it's kind of like you had to be their moment, coming through a lot with you guys. Or like only people in the police force can understand what's actually going on in the case, or only people who have worked with you beside you in the same profession can understand the troubles, or, you know, trials and tribulations you go through, because it's a very niche thing. It's not something everyone has access to. So that's the vibe that I'm getting. Because like I said, there's a distance between you and the rest of society, you and the rest of your friends, you and the people around you. It's like, yeah, I have friends, but unless they're on the police force, there's a specific bond I have with those people because we go to the same things and see the same horrors. People in the military, my band of brothers, we become family because we've gone through things that no one in the outside world or at home will ever understand, you know? Singers, people who are performers, say famous celebrities, there's a specific niche of having the same kind of celebrities as your friends, because they fully understand what you've gone through, you know, or what you are going through, the scrutiny you have on you, you know, that kind of vibe. That's what's giving me. So it's like your presence, the way you look, your job, the lifestyle you live, that's what's intimidating about you guys. The way you seem to have the answers to everything, you get whatever you want, you achieve all your goals. People think that you in the conjuring, you could be, but it ain't their business. But I'm going to end the reading right there, guys. I hope this reading resonated. Like I said, I have a $55 special going on right now. If you feel called to, you know, snatch it up, then do so. I would love to read for you. Like I said, limited spots available because I be working and all kind of stuff. But yeah, you know what I mean? Just, you know, hit me up if you want a reading. Email me at thepleiadianpriestess@gmail.com. But I hope you love the reading. Like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading, like I said, do so. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group threes. Welcome to your reading. If you chose insight, then welcome. You're in the right place. Today's reading is going to be all about what makes you intimidating, frightening, or downright scary to others. It could be traits, features, mannerisms, attitude, vibe, whatever comes through, comes through. All may come through, one may come through. Only a few may come through. We'll see what comes through. A lot of comes throughs, okay? I'm hearing messages come through you is what's coming through, because we have insight as well. If you feel called to any other groups, please do so. There's no parameters when it comes to what makes you frightening to others. So all three can resonate, just one, maybe two, we'll see. Don't ever feel like you have to put yourself in a box when it comes to readings unless the reader specifically says otherwise. So if a reader says, only choose one, or try to just choose one, cool. But if they don't, you can watch as many groups as you want and resonate with every single one of them. It doesn't matter. It just makes you more of a full person, multifaceted person, which is, I mean, I would think people would be multifaceted, not just one thing, but a lot of different things. But anyway, for you guys, that could be what makes you frightening as well. The fact that you're so many different things in one person. It's like, how can you be talented and then smart and then beautiful and then look good and you always smell good and, you know, you can eat whatever you want and not really gain this much weight? Like, you just seem like you've won the lottery in things in life is a vibe that I'm getting. And you also have this insight, you know? It's like some people, I'm getting the vibe of how witches are seen as ugly and they have warts and long noses, and oracles were always seen as people who are undesirable and that kind of thing. But you could be both those things, a witch, oracle, spiritualist, whatever you want to call it, occultist. And you're also beautiful and you're also gorgeous. It's taking me honestly to a TikTok reading that I was watching. Her name is Anastasia. I'm pretty sure many of you have seen her if you're in the witch community. On TikTok, I feel like she's everywhere, but I think I found her on TikTok. And she was like how she went out for like happy hour with her crew, her, what should she call them? Her employees. Yes, thank you. Because she owns like two magical witchy shops in, I think, Los Angeles or California. and she went out with them after work. They went to happy hour and they were sitting there drinking, and she, like, the owner of the bar came over and asked, like, how is everything going? Is everything good? Like, personally checking up on her. And how he was like, oh, so what do you do? How can you afford to have your own shop on this street or whatever? And she's like, oh, I'm a witch. And the guy is like, you're too pretty to be a witch. And she's like, okay, like, but she's basically, I don't know if she said it to him when he said it, but in the video she's like, there's no specific way for a witch to look or a witch to be. And she's just like, y'all think witches are doing evil spells and, black magic, and they could be, but some witches are just doing things to have a better life, to become rich. Like, I'm trying to be a witch to be rich, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of energy she was talking about in the reading. She's like, y'all think we in here trying to make y'all lives bad, and we're basically trying to make our lives good. Ain't nobody worried about what you doing or trying to hex you or put a curse on you, that kind of vibe. So, I mean, he meant that as a compliment, but it was kind of like meaningless. It was a empty comment, because like, oh, you're too pretty to be a witch. Like, what is a witch supposed to be in your head anyway? Not that we care, but that kind of energy. So that could be the vibe coming through for you guys. You're accomplished, you're beautiful, and then you tell somebody you're a witch. You dabble in the dark arts, like, oh my gosh, you're too pretty to be a witch. Or now they start feeling sorry, feel like, oh my gosh, are you evil now? Like, that kind of energy is coming through. Yeah. And then we have trickery. Yes, I forgot this card was back here. Trickery, exactly. There's something here about you coming off as not as you seem. So you look innocent and cute, but you're also like very hearing ruthless. You're also very cunning, because that's trickery. Some of you could be my Slytherins here in this pile, where you know what to do or what to say, how to act to get what you want. Ambitious, cunning. And it's funny because I just changed my Harry Potter calendar in the room, and October was Slytherin. Yes, I changed it 4 days late, but hey, mind your business. And the characteristics for Slytherin are pride, ambition, and cunning. So that is you. You take pride in what you do. You have no shame in your game. Like, that's what she was saying. She's like, yeah, I'm a witch. So, like, I'm too pretty to be a witch. What do you think witches do? We're both mostly about, making our life better, looking pretty, looking cute, and being rich, getting money. That's it. Like, well, modern witches, she can't speak for everyone. That's literally what we are all trying to do. Make abundance for ourselves, have a good life, travel, do what we love. That's all we're trying to do, and mind our business. Okay? So there's no there was no reason for him to say all that. But there's something here about trickery. How you don't come off as you seem. Like, everything is not as it seems. So like I said, you come off as someone who's unassuming. You're just another pretty girl or pretty guy. No, doesn't even have to be pretty. Pretty doesn't have to be anywhere in the equation. You're just a regular guy or a girl. And people come and say and expect certain things from you, or ask you questions the way you tell them, oh yeah, I'm in the occult. What? I do tarot. Who? I'm an astrologer. What? Stuff like that. Like, I read runes, I do this, I practice Reiki, stuff like that. They're like, what? I read leaves. Yeah, like, oh, they're just like taken aback. They're just like, oh, you know what I mean? But yes, let's get more cards from this deck first and foremost. In this reading, I'm using the Urban Crow Oracle, okay, and the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and I'm also using the Earth and Bone Oracle. I did do an unboxing of these cards. This one, the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, in the intro was pretty short, and it ended with like a little mini reading for the people who stuck around and watched. So if you feel called to go watch, go do that. Also, I'm doing a $55 special for the month of October for 30 minutes, up to 2 questions. If you have anything that's pressing that you want to get answered in the month of October, I got you guys. Spots are limited since I do work a few jobs. Okay, I'm hustling out here. I just book as soon as possible, okay? But it will be all October long until all the slots are filled, okay? So all you have to do is email me at ThePleiadianPriestess@gmail.com, and the reading will basically be like this, except it's going to be for you, personal, essentially. But yeah, if you're interested, have questions, always been wanting to get a reading with me, that kind of energy, now is the time to do it. $55 for all month October long. So just book your readings, guys, if you want urban checking or wanting to get a reading with me. So what is intimidating, frightening, or downright scary about my group 3s, please? freedom. There could be a freedom about you. You do whatever you want. You say whatever you want. You don't like hold yourself back in any kind of way. And that's scary. You do whatever you want. I'm here. I do what I dang well please. As you should. There's something about you that's like society's rules or parameters don't hold you back. So I'm hearing, for example, how if you look a certain kind of way, you're not supposed to be confident. You know, if you're bigger, not convinced you're attractive, you're not supposed to wear whatever you want. You're not supposed to act a certain kind of way. You're supposed to put yourself in this box and stay there. And you don't do that. That's scary because you are out of the norm, you know. You don't look normal. You don't act normal. But you act as if you belong because you do, you know. You're not sitting there saying, oh, I'm too big to wear that, or I'm not pretty enough to do this, or you're just doing whatever the heck you want to do. You know, that's it. The next card we have is battle. Ooh, yeah, you're fierce and you're feisty and you fight back. Yeah, you fight against societal norms. You fight against everything, honestly. You have no problem going into battle. If it's something that's bothering you, you're fighting for it, you know? And then we have memory. The way you're able to remember certain things, your attention to detail is coming through. And that can be like a Virgo trait you have. Some of you could be Virgos here. Because their attention to detail is out of this world, okay? So some of you could be Virgos. I want to get all the cards before I get into the reading, so let me just get them out. Group 3, please, Spirit. Group 3, what makes them frightening, intimidating, or scary to people? You could be watching for a specific person as well. It doesn't matter. But it's just what makes you to other people intimidating, frightening, or downright scary to other people. The fact that you do what you want, the way that you make them feel free and you make them want to do what they want, I kind of feel like you restore their memory to, it's like how everyone's like under a simulation and they get up and they go to work and they do this and they do that. And you kind of take them out of that trance and remind them of what they're really here to do. So that programming that society wants to make us grow up in, like, oh, you have to go to school and you have to get a degree and you have to get a job and you have to have kids and you have to get married and you have to look like this and you have to eat this and you have to do that. Like, that whole thing is something that you have snapped out of long time. And you're bringing other people out of it with you, you know? So it's kind of like you're doing light work in that kind of way where you're shedding light on the darkness or in the dark recesses of people's mind that's telling them they have to operate in a robot-like mentality or robot-like mannerism, you know, mechanism. There's something about that here for real. So what makes you scary is that you can snap people out of a trance and you bring clarity and light to situations that people don't want clarity and light brought to. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Look at this. She's giving a gypsy. 9 of Pentacles. Group 3, please. What makes them frightening, intimidating, or downright scary to others? Oh my gosh. What fell? We have the Devil in reverse. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People may try to villainize you for, you know, maybe reading tarot or being into spirituality. They try to villainize you and say, that's the devil's work. And it's like, shut the hell up. No, it's not. Unless someone's actually out there doing the devil's work, ain't nothing the devil's work, child. Get your life. Sorry. But that one flew all the way over there on the floor. So that's definitely something that people could throw out at you a lot. Or what they think is like, you know, something to pay attention to. The way people say everybody who is famous sold their soul to the Illuminati to get money and fame and that kind of thing. It's like, they can't just be talented and everybody likes them. No, it has to be some foul play. Like, I just can't be pretty and be a witch and do whatever I want and live my life free and not have to have anything holding me back or living in a box or living in a jail or, you know, a mental prison. No, you can't. You have to, there has to be something. You have to be oppressed. You have to be this. You have to be that. Sad. In order for people to think you're living or doing life right. 9 of Swords in reverse. You break people out of their trance is definitely something that's coming through. You're fighting. You're an advocate. And I'm also hearing spiritual battles. So you're doing this spiritual work and fighting spiritual battles. I do feel like, which is kind of trying to undo the devil's work. So people think, oh, you're doing the devil's work. No, I'm trying to undo it, honey. And that's something that's scary about you. The magic, the power you have, and you try to actually wield to make things better, to free people from this oppression, the slavery. Y'all coming through with the Harriet Tubmans, the Sojourner Truths. Let me stop. Who's actually doing the grunt work. Oh my gosh, you guys actually got Edgar Allan Poe. Stop it. Yeah, as I was saying, you're leading the charge of people. You're the leader. And people think you're using trickery to bring people over to the dark side and make them believe in spirituality and to elevate themselves and to believe in manifestation and you could do whatever you want and be whoever you want and that kind of thing. And people are like, no, it's all a lie. You're tricking people. You're doing the devil. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And it's like, no. You're just giving people options where before their options were taken away from them. Kudos to you guys. Anything else? What makes them scary and intimidating? There could just be a morbid, very macabre air about you as well, because that's him. That was him as a you know, in a nutshell is what I was trying to say. That was him in a nutshell. And we have 10 of Wands, and then we have 4 of Wands in reverse. That was him in a nutshell. He didn't gloss over the sick and the scary and the evil. He didn't do any of that. He just talked about it. He brought attention to it, you know, brought those things to light. And that could be something you do as well that's intimidating. People are like, oh my gosh, you actually work with these cards and you work with energies and you talk to spirits and oh my gosh, like that kind of energy. And then it's like, aren't you not scared? And it's like, what is there to be scared about? What I am scared about is staying blind to things that are, you know what I mean, very much placed in front of us and are brought to our attention, and ignoring those things. Like someone telling you they're poisoning the food. You know what I mean? Why am I freaking hearing Trump? They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Bro, like you trying to purposely bring attention to certain people and things, and you're like, does this not feel not right to you? Does this feel okay to have someone like that in the presidency, or for him to be trying to be running in for president and saying something like that at an important presidential debate? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you're talking about they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats, and you want people to vote for you as president? Like, who are you leading? Like, it made no sense. But that could be the thing. People are seeing him as a leader. He's the false prophet, essentially. And the people who are actually here doing God's work are the people who are being overlooked or seen as evil, which is essentially the vibe that's coming through here. The people who are doing the good are being shunned because the people who are in charge, whoever they are, don't want people to come out of this trance. They want them to stay in the darkness, stay secluded, stay muted, you know, stay sad, miserable. That's what the enemy likes to feed off of. And you're the person breaking all those things, and that makes you scary because society is told that those things are scary. You know, everything is kind of turned on its head. There's one more deck I want to pull from. Like, yeah, you're doing the work. You're trying to free people, free the slaves. Essentially, make them remember why they actually came here, who they are. Try to get them out of this, unbound from this trickery. And people are calling you the problem. The Emperor is a true leader. Wow. We have Cage, Freedom, Release, Reclaiming Power. We have Conjurer. So far, this has come through in every group. And y'all see me shuffling the cards. And then here we have Serpent. So there could be someone watching all 3 groups, and I encourage that. So hello if you are. or just someone who's watching, like 2 groups at least. Anyway, sorry, no, my nose itching. That's how I know I'm speaking the truth, because my nose is not itching for the past 2 readings. Like, I'm speaking truth out here. And look at how we have people trying to be washed away. This person's tied. Are the people in the boat doing it? Like, keeping people tied and bound and leaving them for slaughter? You know what this is freaking giving me, bro? That movie that I mentioned in group 1, The Crow, where essentially the one thing about it was, the whole thing was there was a demon who made a deal with the devil to send him souls. But the thing about it, they had to be good souls. They had to be innocent souls. He didn't want the damn souls, the evil souls. Those people were already coming to him. He wanted the guy to damn them to hell. People who are innocent, who are going to go to heaven, essentially. The good people in the world. He had that voice where it made them do certain things and, like, sacrifice their soul to be in the deepest, darkest, most, you know, child in hell, the deepest, darkest pits of hell, essentially. And what the movie was about is one of the guy's girlfriends, them being killed together. But him being brought back to give justice to the girl, you know, because she made a deal with the devil, essentially, that guy, to become a famous pianist or whatever. But once she saw what the guy was making them do with that voice, they tried to run away from him, but they caught them in the end. But the guy was brought back to save her. But that's what this is giving me, how that guy was in the industry. He had a official high job, and he was bringing in innocent boys and girls who had musical talent, and he was sacrificing them to the devil to have eternal life. And that could be literally what's going on in society right now, where people are sacrificing these innocent souls, how the police are brutalizing people and killing innocent kids and men and children. And that's because it's in order to keep the powerful people in power, essentially. How we have these officials going into the office and they're just doing everything to make everything go straight to hell. We're living in a hell on earth right now. And the officials we have in office are not doing anything to help us, because they're literally selling our souls to stay in power, to have money. That's literally what's happening. They made a deal with the devil. And you're trying to do the opposite of that, but people are trying to shun you or make you feel like you're doing wrong when you're just trying to help them, because we have a society here who sent this man out to slaughter. I don't know what book or movie this featuring from Edgar Allan Poe's work where it's from, but that's literally what it's giving me. People who are purposely sacrificing people for their life to be better, for them to have money and riches and everything they could ever want. Everyone else is suffering, because there's never any reason for anyone to be so sickeningly rich that they can have whatever they want, that they could buy people. Why don't you give back to other people with that money? What do you need all that money for? It's just greed, which is what a deadly sin. Sure. Anyway, I'm sorry I went on a tangent, but that's what's coming through here. That movie, The Crow. So maybe some of you women might want to watch it. It's a good, I'm about to say Christmas, child, Halloween-y kind of movie. A little spooky, a little scary, and it features crows, which was like a big thing with Edgar Allan Poe, even though it was ravens, you know, black, dark birds, anything macabre, scary, uncomfortable, unsettling is what he loved to talk about, because no one was talking about it enough, honestly. It's, I think, what he thought. But yeah. You fighting a spiritual battle, fighting for these souls, which is what that guy was doing. I think that's what he ended up doing, because I think it was based off of a comic book series, The Crow. So, like, he ended up, I don't want to spoil the end, but anyway, I think that's what he went on to do, to continue saving souls, you know, and keeping the people, unless it was like only 1 or 2 movies. I think there was a second movie. I only watched the first one, but hey, I think that's what the comics were about, him going on to continue helping and saving those souls, you know, fighting that spiritual battle for everyone else that doesn't seem to want to wake up to what's actually going on, you know? But what's intimidating about you? You free people from their cage. You have freedom, release, reclaiming power. You help people reclaim their power. And that makes you scared, because in order to reclaim your power, you have to do scary things. You have to release everything you've ever known. And that's the scariest thing to do. To jump into the unknown is a fool card, starting their fool's journey, essentially. Boom, exactly. You help people find their fool's journey and find their freedom to illumination. Because once we get to the world, we have found that freedom. We can celebrate now. We've reached the end of all the troubles, which means we start another fool's journey. But the hardest part is getting to the first one. Getting rid of everything, divesting yourself of everything you've ever learned and been told to believe in order to become this new spiritually aligned person who's in tune with nature and getting messages from spirit and becoming clairaudient, claircognizant, stuff like that. That's the hardest part. Everything that comes after that is so much easier than anything else, you know? Because then you start to get to know your spirit team, they start protecting you, you feel safe, and the things that used to scare you are now the things you embrace, you know? And that could be who Edgar Allan Poe was, which is why he may have had a harder time fighting those demons that were coming after him. Was back then, I'm pretty sure it was harder to be someone who was into these things than it is now, because it's still even hard now. But back then, he was very lonely. He was a drunk, and I think that's how he died as well. Drunk on the side of the street in the sewers or something, and nobody ever found his body. I don't think he has a grave, or maybe he does. I don't know. I just remember that always stuck with me when they made us read this in like high school. I'm like, what? No. But now I feel a sense, a kinship with him. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the reading. When I was opening up the box. I don't know why I felt so called to get it, but now I find myself more called to things that are dark and macabre. I used to be someone who stayed away from scary movies. Now I find myself like drawn to them more a little bit, like interested, like what is out there, what are these movies about, what are they trying to portray to people, because sometimes those movies have messages. And I was just watching, what movie was it? Speak No Evil with James McAvoy. I watched it for that man because he's fine. But basically he was like, there was a scene in the movie where the woman was like, why are you doing this to us? And he simply said, because you let me. Like, so in the beginning of the movie, they meet this couple in Venice or whatever, and they both have 2 kids. Cool. They become friends of sorts on the vacation, and then because the 2 couples are going through troubles in their marriages, the couple ends up, when the vacation is over, they invite them to come visit them at their like little house in Ireland or somewhere, or Scotland, I don't know. And the wife is like, no, why are we going? We don't know them, they're strangers. The husband's like, it'll be fun, let's go. They go. Then things start happening, weird things, and the wife keeps telling the husband, let us go. This is not good. They end up almost getting out in the movie, but they don't, because the stinking daughter, bro, she pissed me off in that movie. She crying over some damn sheep that she can't stay without. And I'm like, girl. And they run back and they end up getting trapped there and all kinds of stuff, just to realize that the couple has been stealing kids and killing the parents and keeping the kids. And this couple was their next target. And he's not letting them escape. And the wife is asking him, like, why are you doing this? What do you want? He's like, because you let me. All the signs were telling you I wasn't any good. I was acting out in every possible way that would flare up your red flags and intuition. And you stayed. You made your husband control you, and you stayed. So now when all these bad things are happening, what do you want me to tell you? I'm doing it because you let me. And I was like, whew, powerful. Because facts. The things that we let happen to us, we let it happen because we let it. Child. Anyway, I'm getting a little too impassioned here reading. Yeah. You get impassioned, you believe in things, you fight for what you believe in, you fight for the little dog, the underdog, the people who are defenseless right now, you know? There's a difference between people knowing what's going on and staying silent, and there's a difference between people not knowing at all, being innocent. That's literally what God be saying sometimes. The people who don't know, I will give them a pass. People who do know and don't speak on it or don't help change people's perspective or speak my word and tell people are the people who going to hell. Essentially what he be saying, okay? And also, there was another movie that I was watching called Blink Twice, where things were happening as well. And they were drugging the women, they were raping the woman, they was recording it, they was doing all this kind of stuff using this drug that helped them forget it, okay? And there was this one guy in the movie that saw everything happening, and I don't think they were drugging him, or maybe they were, I'm not sure. But in the end, when all the women find out was trying to fight the Channing Tatum guy, the one guy was like, what did I do? And Channing Tatum was like, nothing. And he's like, oh, thank God. And he's like, no. You saw what we were doing, and you did nothing. It's a special spot in hell for people like you. Of course, I'm the bad guy. I'm doing the bad things. Cool. But you are seeing what's happening and not doing anything about it. That means there's a special place in hell for people like you. and then he died. But anyway, or he killed the guy who said that too. But just these movies, I feel like they have an underlying message, and people think the message is like, oh, a scary movie we're full of killing. No, there's a message beneath it all. Okay. But yeah, that's what is coming through for you guys with the Nine of Swords in reverse. There's something here about you thinking a lot about a lot of things, but those dark thoughts and things and those anxieties are not holding you back from doing the Lord's work, essentially. Okay, if you don't believe in the Lord, doing divine's work, the universe's work, whatever. Now, the Emperor is someone who's very powerful, who sees everything and writes it down, who has a whole heap of responsibility on his shoulders. And I love how they put Edgar Allan Poe as the Emperor, because he did have a responsibility, he felt, to write these kinds of stories, to give people a different perspective, or to tell people that there's not always good in the world. You can't keep your blinders on. You should be aware of certain things that happen in life. And he took that weight on his shoulders, you know, even though he was already a troubled person, period, you know. So yeah, there's something to be said about the people who are going through pain and still take it upon themselves to help other people, you know. So yeah, now, like I said, Ten of Wands, already went over that card. But with the Conjurer, higher self, fertility, creativity, you are definitely someone who is very creative. People could think of you as a conjurer, you know what I mean? Root worker, just someone who's into spirituality in general, that kind of energy. They get the pentagram was supposed to be scary. I mean, it is, because that means you're doing some things, but they're thinking of it in the wrong way. The people who are actually doing this work are the people who are getting away with it. And the people who are doing it, trying to help people, are the ones who's getting condemned. It's crazy, you know, witch trials, all that kind of stuff. Because there's also, wow, I'm getting a lot of messages for you guys. I'm sorry if I keep going off track, but I feel like it pertains to the reading and your energy. There's a lady that I was watching on TikTok where she was like, the reason why they condemn women, or call women witches and kill them, is because they were in tune with the earth and Mother Nature and God and stuff like that. And people didn't want that. Because she was like, why do you think it is that the midwives, who are women themselves, who are trying to help other women give birth healthily without having to cut them open or go through, you know, experience the least amount of pain, why did men think they were more qualified to help women give birth? And the midwives who are doing it painlessly or as naturally as possible were the ones who are being called witches. Why do you think that is? Men keep trying to take women's job and tell women how to live and control their body, and the women who take back that power are the ones who are called witches and condemned. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah. With the Serpent, we have rebirth, unconventionality, and nonconformity. Exactly. I didn't even read this, and basically what I was saying is coming through. You don't conform. You do you. People can see you as scary, snake in the grass, spooky, dark, you know, evil, whatever. But that's why you scare them, is because you won't conform. You won't do and become like everyone else. You're not original. You're unconventional, you know. And here we have the Four of Wands. I'm pretty sure it came out in the reverse, but all the talking that I was doing with the card ended up upright somehow. I'm not going to question it. But someone who's okay being on their own, who likes to be in solitary to get messages from spirit, because fours are all about protecting. And I do think the Four of Pentacles want to come out for you guys as well. If I remember correctly, when I was shuffling, I saw the Four of Pentacles. So there's something here about you getting messages, and the angels and divine whispering about you amongst each other, saying that's one of the people. The inner calling come out for you. That was for group 2. So maybe you guys are coming from group 2. That inner calling, you were given this calling for a reason, you know. But the fact that you have insight, other people don't. You pick up on things other people don't. You are not fooled by the trickery, you know, or people think you're doing trickery. Both messages coming from this one card. Nine of Pentacles is someone who's very abundant, and this is giving gypsy, peak gypsy vibes. You of the earth, you know what I mean? You're travelers. You don't stay in one place for long. You're not very attached to earthly possessions. You're very go with the flow. I go where the wind takes me, that kind of thing. You're a traveler, and there's just something about you being like in your own little psychic world, because we have the ship here, and then we have her surrounded by water, and water represents, you know, cosmic power, psychic abilities, emotions, empathy, 5D energy, that kind of vibe, you know, things we can't, you know, touch or see, but we can feel. And there's a lot about those things that you are very well versed at, and that makes people very scared of you. But because you found that freedom, you've released yourself from the shackles and you reclaim your power, that is what makes people scared of you the most. especially the people in power. So I do believe in that crow movie that I was referencing earlier. A lot of movies, a lot of references. In case you want to watch any of these things, the demon guy in that movie who told the people he had working for him, because he was in a big corporation and had regular people under his spell. That, like, and in the end, the guy was asking, like, why were you even working for him before he killed her? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I started off and saw the bad things he was doing, and I stayed quiet, complacent. And then it's like, it makes no type of sense. But he was like, bring him to me, when he realized that the crow, like, couldn't be killed, essentially what it was. He would always heal. He would feel the pain, but he would heal from the pain, and any wounds, whatever happened, he would come back to life, essentially. And once the guy heard about this crow person, he's like, bring him to me, you know? Because I guess he wanted to kill him or something like that. Or maybe take his powers for his own. I don't know. But there was something like that intrigued the bad guy about the crow guy. And he kept telling people, bring him to me, you know? But yeah, there's something here about you being protected with the four coming through the Four of Wands and these two angels talking, convening in the clouds, while you're just sitting here with the candles lit and minding your business, meditating, that kind of energy. So those things are intimidating about you as well. Now, when it comes to looks, I am getting looks for this group, thankfully. There's something red and intense about your aura, red or black, okay? You could dress like very bohemian, very of earth, very chic, very gypsy like, okay? That is something that's coming through, and that's intimidating as well, because people already know what you're into when they see people dressed like this, okay? They know you're spiritual, they know you're this, they know you're that, and that's already intimidating as well. With the devil card coming through here, there's something here about dark hair, because he's coming through here and it's coming through here. So for my men, some of you have dark, shorter hair. Some of you could have this mustache. I don't know what it's called, a mustache. Like, I don't know. There's something about what you say. Like, I am getting like oracle. Like, you're an oracle. So you say things that comes true. And it all happened when you had your Kundalini awakening, this rebirth here. But there is something here about red. And red is root chakra energy. Red is power. Red is aggression. It's seduction as well. So you could be very seductive. Because her eyes are definitely, like, when I look at her, I just keep being called to her eyes. So it could be something about your eyes. And the way he's looking straight on, these two people, they're giving the same vibe, child. Look at them. They're looking straight into your soul, child. That's what they're doing. And look at how we have this skull, this mouth wide open. This skull, this mouth wide open. This crow, this mouth wide open. So speaking, chanting, spells, something like that is coming through. But I feel like I've talked y'all ear off enough. I've gone through all the cards. Yes, I have. This is like really giving fight a battle. Look at them fighting. Like, you're really out here fighting. It's kind of like when you get free from something and you fight to make sure everybody else is free as well. That's what's scary about you. You never stop fighting for the greater good. You like to fight for other people. You're psychic. Your eyes tell us stories. What I'm hearing, your eyes are very... this is also giving me Siren. How she could be essentially leading these sailors to her. With her song, and the mouth is always open, so you can have like a voice of an angel, or your voice like persuades, or it's kind of like, oh my gosh, wait, in that movie, that guy, the demon guy, he had a specific voice that he would use. It was not English. He would speak in gibberish and get people to do whatever he said. So that could be also something that's terrifying. You tell somebody to do something and they want to do it. You have the power of compulsion. Wow, I'm not saying you're the evil guy in the movie. I don't think you are. But there's something about his voice just came through. Like, the girl would say in the movie, she was like, it's a voice he uses to get you to do like the most horrific of acts. And we would see it happen. It would be like it's not human language. And then the person would kill someone. The person would kill themselves. The person would do wicked things. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. And yeah, it's crazy. So there's like very dark energies about you guys, but I don't think it's dark in like a bad way. It's just people think it's dark because they're scared of the dark. Okay, that's something I have for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. Like I said, I have the $55 special for anyone who's interested. Just email me at ThePleiadianPriestess@gmail.com. I got you guys. If you like this reading, like, comment, and subscribe. You can also share if you feel called to do so. If you want the reading, get in contact with me. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Bye.